Winter 2012 is brought to you by ASUS, Republic of Gamers, and NVIDIA. Spawning in the northeast corner, in the blue trunks, representing Team FXO, playing Zerg, it's my pleasure to bring you Lucky. And his opponent in the southwest of Daybreak, spawning in the red trunks as the Protoss, representing Team Empire, the only Empire player left in this particular tournament. Let's hear it for Welmu.
And a lot of you guys may have seen Lucky. He did compete in IPL 3 and managed to come second, losing against Stefano in the overall final. And he also is a regular competitor within the GSL, was in Code S not so long ago, did drop down to Code A and then into the up and down matches. Welmu, on the other hand, you know, obviously a Finnish player here, everybody's going to be supporting him, but he hasn't obviously had the same level of achievements such as Lucky. But I've seen Welmu, I've seen him play against other Zerg players before, and he's actually picked off wins that I would have said were impossible. And he comes through with aggressive play. He's always been a very aggressive player in this matchup, and he backs it up with some good fundamentals. Because when I first saw Welmu, I was like, man, you got to stop playing like this. Eventually people are just going to counter you, and you're not going to be able to continue to the rest of the game. And he actually did develop a solid later game. So we'll see how that comes into play here. He has to be so careful in the focus of this game, the way that Lucky loves to play. You try to take that third base. You try as hard as you can, because Lucky's going to prevent you to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that we see from Stefano in this matchup as well. And we were talking last night, how does a Protoss really beat Stefano? And it was difficult because that third will be consistently harassed, denied as much as possible, and Lucky will do the same thing. That just seems to be the way that Zerg are effectively playing against high-level Protoss at the moment. When it comes down to Welmu, he's an interesting case because he's one of these players that will actually willingly release a lot of replays. He releases huge replay packs on Team Liquid, and the fact of the matter is his play can be analyzed by someone who wishes to actually do so. I've had the pleasure of casting a few of his games. He can throw some interesting twists into the mix and can be quite creative, but every time he's always been aggressive, and he's always been quite durable as well. He never really gives up, and as a result, he pulls off those so-called impossible wins.
Absolutely, and the thing is that Welmu definitely has an advantage going in here. He knows exactly who Lucky is and how he should be playing. Whereas on the other hand, Lucky will just be playing a very standard style and will just take this as another Protoss, not really specializing in anything. We already see Welmu opening up with a second pylon before the gateway and cannon here. So that's showing us that he's being extremely greedy with pro production, going also Nexus first here. So he's really stretching his economy as much as possible. Likewise, we do have Lucky playing pretty standard to counter this as he throws down that incredibly fast third base at that 4:30 mark. And Lucky's Overlords are in an amazing position already. There's one being able to scout the main base, there's one by the natural to scout the gases, and he's in a very good position to scout anything funky that Welmu tries to pull off, if he does.
Yeah, and it is fairly common for a Protoss to try and do something about that third base. The whole Forge Fast Expand thing became popular, and then Zerg said, right, okay, all this does is let me drone for 8 minutes. And Protoss tried to think, is there a way that I can stop that from happening? One of the most common ways to do this is to either go Stargate or to go +1 Zealot and to harass the third base or indeed the natural with Zealots. But we're not seeing a +1 coming from Welmu as of yet, and we also see no sign of a Stargate. He is actually known for throwing Stargates in an awful lot in this matchup, but he's going to put down a Robo instead.
Indeed he does. So Robo going down will be taken up pretty fast here. This can be for a couple of reasons. And he did scout the third base with a probe. He's moving across the map with a Zealot also, forcing a couple more lings out. But the Zealot will get taken down here. He's going to try and get to the natural, check if the creep spread is moving down, check as much of the drone count as possible. And it also allows him to move a probe out if he wants to, because now map control has been taken away from Lucky. He doesn't have the Zelnogga Tower, so this is a time where Welmu can easily move a probe out to try and get into good position. But the Zealot's going down to the third base now and will get picked off shortly, but will he be able to get a drone kill before? He's going to try and go in for it.
He should be able to, but unless, of course, he decides to try and get out of there, which was a little bit of an error, unfortunately, and there's no way he's getting out of there. Nicely caught there by Lucky, and a good first blood kill. Now, The problem that he's got here is this Overlord has managed to get back in and has a full scout. It knows exactly what's going on. It sees the Robo, and it may even see the Warp Prism, but I think it's moving too far away to actually get that just as it pops out there. But the thing is, at this stage, he probably knows what's going on.
Yeah, well, he sees everything. There's actually nothing Lucky doesn't see. He sees the double gas on the natural. He sees the Warp Prism. Oh, he doesn't see the Warp Prism, sorry. He sees the robotics facility.
Yep.
And it's not necessarily for a Warp Prism, but he can be like, all right, these are options.
Yep.
Observer, Immortal push early on, or the Warp Prism. And he's actually going to scout the Warp Prism now.
Yeah, nicely done there. Lucky is all over the map at the moment. I love this active scouting. Not even just relying on Overlords, which a lot of Zerg players do, actively scouting with Lings to see if they can catch things like that. And now Lucky should be pretty prepared for this. Warp Prism is also a good way of trying to do damage to a player that takes an early third, because their forces are limited, and they're also quite spread out. Unfortunately, Welmu only has 2 sentries in here, and I don't really think he's going to be able to achieve much.
No, I mean, he's forced Lucky to build a lot of units at that 52 drill mark, but that's okay for Lucky. He's like, all right, I'm just going to build enough to stop anything like that. The thing is, though, a probe did manage to escape in the bottom right here, and it was seen by Lucky's vision and map control on the Zelnaga tower, but I don't think he actually saw it unless he sends probes down there.
He may. I mean, there are Lings heading down in that direction, but are they doing so for a specific reason? It looks like they're not. So that did escape his notice. Bear in mind, a pro gamer doesn't see everything at all times, even if it does get into his vision range. That's just the way of it. You can't be everywhere at once.
And 4 more gateways have been thrown down, and I'm finishing up as well. So what we're going to be seeing from Welmu, he's going to break down his own forge as +1 finishes, and he's going to be moving out. And it's so good of him to get this pylon down, because Lucky hasn't seen it, and it's going to be a very sentry and immortal heavy push. Therefore, he's going to have to nail force fields, and he has to keep away the Lings and Roach away from the key units here, which are going to be the immortals. So we'll see how this goes down. That pylon's still unscouted and is going to be the key thing. But no, look, he's moving Lings up. He's just checking and making sure there is nothing there. Will he find the pylon? And if he does, that could be disastrous for Welmu's plan.
Wow, yeah, that's really, really close, isn't it? He hasn't got it just yet. But I mean, the problem with sending the probe up there is, he's going to miss it. Welmu incredibly fortunate there. But the problem with sending a probe up from that angle is every Zerg player is going to assume there's a pylon behind that probe one way or the other, because like at this stage, why not? He's already scouted. He got a great scout with that Overseer and saw 7 gateways. It's like, well, okay, where's the pylon to actually support that? But turns out it remains unscouted, and Welmu does have a good chance of getting in here and doing damage. It's primarily a Roach force. There's 3 Immortals with +1 behind that, a ton of sentries, and he's also using the Warp Prism to warp in behind this, which I really do like. Not using that pylon until he absolutely needs it, not revealing that trump card. Yeah, pretty big counterattack here. Sadly, the microphone goes down, but there's always the Cybernetic score going down as well. And this Roach run-by is going to cause kind of a base trade scenario between these two, but force fielded off. Unfortunately, Lings get in and are able to do damage here. The 3rd base goes down in the process. And Welmu is just going to go all the way for the natural expansion, and this is base trade certainly, but in a base trade scenario, actually, the Protoss does have a bit of an edge, simply because of force fields. If he can keep his main base alive, some losses made there, a nice burrow used, and no observer. Perhaps a crucial mistake here by Welmu. That burrow is going to cause problems. There we go, the observer is now kicking into effect, and Welmu continues to push forward. All 3 Immortals are crucially still alive. The Roaches right there, making their way through. They've destroyed the natural. He needs sentries here. These Zealots will not be enough to hold this, but he's warping in. Nothing but Zealots at this time. Continuing to make his way through, going for the straight-up base trade, looking to try and take down the natural, and it looks like he's actually doing a lot of damage here. There's not much left in this natural, and these 3 Immortals will chew up any number of Roaches that are thrown their way. In the meantime, these Roaches are actually reduced in number. Welmu still has an economy, not a huge amount, but if he could just get a couple of units out to blast his way through there, he'll be in a great position. This base trade is going in his favor. Some probes they get out, but they're going to get caught out of position, and in a straight-up base trade, I feel Welmu can still make this happen. There's still 27 Roaches on the field, though, and they are just looking to stream all the way over there and destroy every building that Welmu's got in the process.
Absolutely. In a straight-up fight, Welmu will be able to win, but will Lucky allow that straight-up fight to happen now? So it is going to be a base race scenario. Welmu does catch Lucky off guard with this, and Lucky was like, oh, okay, I have to base race. The problem is he warped in so many Zealots to defend because the Cybernetics core was sniped on the natural, and that's all he could warp in. And now Lucky is going through. Let's have a look at the count though as this starts. So as they're killing each other's building, it's 23 roaches, 9 sentries, 6 stalkers, 3 immortals. So if the thing is, the sentries are building up energy. Even though the roaches are gonna heal, Welmu hasn't got a nexus. He's got pylons inside the base here, so he's gonna have to defend these pylons. Will he be able to defend? The mobility is in favor of Lucky, despite Welmu having a stronger straight-up army.
Yeah, there are 6 probes still alive, which is very good, and he's also got what he needs to build another nexus, if need be. Now, this is the crucial thing. Welmu has an observer. If he'd lost that observer to the spore crawler, then those roaches would probably be able to get a kill, because they do have burrow, they do have tunneling claws. Not a particularly pleasant situation to be in. But since he does have that, and there is actually no way for that observer to now die, Welmu is in a good spot. Not only that, the Zerg player can still actually build, or he does not want to build the Nexus there. That is right in range of the Overlords, and that's been scouted. That's going to be a bit unpleasant here. Welmu's protecting his probes as best he can. There are 2 hatcheries going up. The question is, where are they? There's one up to the top here. There are still drones alive, and he's actually taken the main 2. Bringing the Warp Prism into play, but he doesn't have a gateway to do anything with it. He could easily just pick up one of these units and drop it in a cancel there, and everything counts at this stage. A cancel has drained the resources of him. In fact, he actually doesn't have enough to build a hatchery now.
Oh man, Welmu's in so much trouble. The roaches and millings are faster than what Welmu has. He's just running towards the Nexus, and he knows where the last units are as well. The thing is, he doesn't know about the assimilator. That's the only thing he doesn't know about. But if Welmu can make a trap, if he can go, all right, go kill my Nexus, then kill my pylon, you're gonna kill me. Oh no, wait, there's an assimilator. And if he catches every single unit in the original base of Lucky, it could win. But Lucky goes the other way rather than going up and no!
That's not a nice engagement at all. Immortals were not at the front to absorb that, and he took a big amount of damage. That does not help. Welmu's army supply now falls to 39. Admittedly, that is still a lot of roaches, but now what's going to happen is the Nexus has been stopped, the assimilators will be revealed, and unfortunately, Welmu is still in the wrong place. He's going to have to pick something to defend, or indeed try and destroy his opponent's base, which is going to be difficult. He takes out an assimilator, that's going to help him quite a little bit, but he needs to deal with this. He now knows where it is, and are there any more buildings? Yes, there's loads of extractors all over the map.
He's got 240 minerals. He has borrowed drones in weird locations, which Welmu won't really walk into. And now it's all that last pylon. He still has a probe somewhere, I believe. He has 5 probes, so he can easily build additional stuff. But it's a race that I don't think that he can take just because of the lack of mobility his army has. I would love to see maybe Immortals in the Warp Prison, but if he does that, then his entire army is under threat from just a straight-up fight. So it's a really difficult situation for Welmu to be in. Does he defend? Does he attack? And he can't really do either.
Yeah, that is very stressful. Even putting a single Immortal in that Warp Prism to start blasting away at this hatchery, or indeed just killing drones, because Lucky has started to mine again. It is only with a single drone, but this is a really awkward and funky base trade between these two, and Welmu, that last engagement didn't help. He lost a few Stalkers there. He's got a lot of Sentry energy, and if he pulls that off correctly, it will help. But bear in mind, these are boring roaches. They can get under the force fields, and at least the Observer is there to allow those Immortals to chew through. More buildings are going to go down here, and another assimilator being put up as well. And Welmu's really got to force Lucky into a situation where Lucky must engage.
All right, so it looks like Lucky moving down.
Oh no, the Observer needs to catch up right here. Yeah, he's moving down to try and take out that assimilator down there. There is another one. Welmu needs to put off a trap here. He doesn't want to spread his forces out, and he's got to be very careful with how he engages.
Oh, he's going to try and set up a trap here. This could be really good if he nails the force fields here to prevent these roaches, but as you said, they do have Burrow, and we'll be able to escape.
The Observer is out of range, unfortunately. Now it's finally getting into range, and force field's going down, and he's blasting away at the roach count and doing significant damage in the process. There's the pop-up. Once again, he goes under it. A lot of force field energy being spent here. Roaches are going down. He's down to 18. He was at 27. Another one's going to fall here, and he significantly reduced the army of his opponent and taken no losses in the process.
Yeah, really nice there, but the pylon now under attack by a couple of Lings. A sentry left to defend. I guess that'll beat the Lings down just about, but We do have the assimilator in the bottom right now. Where are the probes? He still has 2 probes. He lost 3 probes there. He's going to try
Welmu's just going to go, yeah, he's going to go and kill that. Does he have another building anywhere? This is a really risky trade. There is a pylon up to the top. These roaches are going to go to the bottom. He can kill the hatchery, no problem at all. What is left on the field for...
He needs to build a pylon with a probe or something. Okay, he does in the bottom left, just in time before he actually got kicked out of the game here. And once again, what is left? We do have a hatchery and extractor in the bottom left and another extractor in the bottom right, but still 300 minerals banked up and still drones available to just build 10 more extractors across the map. So it's pretty hard. It's like whack-a-mole, man. They just keep popping up.
It really is. This is a funky base trade to start things off here in this series. There's another extractor going up. These roaches are going to be able to just clean things up. And if Welmu sits on that, well, even if he sits on the pylon, burrowed roaches can snipe the pylon off very, very fast indeed. And Welmu is now out of cash. He cannot build anything else. He's got this 1 warp prism and that 1 pylon. That is it. That's what he's got. And unfortunately, Lucky's got more than that. He's got that extractor. In fact, does he have another one? Yes, and he's got an extractor down the bottom too.
Thing is, what Welmu, it looks like he might be doing is trying to force a draw. And then it's just said, you know, rebuilt their base. It's no longer being revealed. And he can't force a draw because he still has
This is what he's going to do.
drones.
Yep, he's got to take this risk, and it is a risk, because without those 2 Immortals' firepower, beating those roaches is going to be very difficult to do. He's on borrowed time, he's got to be very rapid, he knows where this extractor is, he can blast it apart very quickly, then he's got to get back.
Yeah, because there's nothing to target the air down, and immediately as Lucky knows is the strategy, we talked about it before, if he goes for a straight up fight, he can win, but Welmu's just going to bank on, I need a force field like crap on my ramp, and if he bores under, I've got to pull back, force field again, pull back, force field again. But that's the only pylon there is.
Yeah.
And we'll see how Welmu's control is with this warp prism. You can drop down, pick up really, really fast and almost prevent roach damage here.
Yep.
So let's see how Welmu's going to pull this off. That is the last hatchery. If that completes and then gets picked off, there's not enough money for another hatchery here. And Ingo's
We see that coming. Right, this is all of the army here from Lucky, and we're going to have to see some pretty awesome micro here, but with Immortals you can do it. Shields regenerate very quickly, and of course the hardened shields will trigger, and there we go, the shields just got blasted down, but they will regenerate. That's 1 roach taken out. This is incredibly tense. Welmu's got to be very cautious. He can wait. He really can wait here. Nothing is being mined. There's no reason for him to drop that Immortal until its shields are fully back up again. He's going to drop down here to take the extractor out, exploiting the immobility of his opponent. And there's only 1 building. There is only 1 building on the map. It is that extractor, and the roaches are out of position. This could be crucial. Damage coming in right now. Okay, hatchery is now starting to fall. The roaches are not... Where's the... Oh, there's an extractor to the top. He's got 1 more out.
Yeah, he's just gonna leave that now. He may even try to take the fight towards that pylon. He sees on the map, that's it. That's all it is.
That's what he's going to do.
It's a race against time here. 2 extractors. Welmu now has to go all the way to the left-hand side of the map, kill that extractor, but there's another extractor in the middle.
He needs to get back and defend right now. He needs those 2 Immortals. He does. This is going to be brutal.
3 extractors and hold his pylon at the same time.
There's the burrow. Fire coming down. He's got to keep force fielding. He must keep force fielding. He's got to keep it. If they pop up and do damage, this will be over. And it's so... down! Oh, so close.